Hi everyone, welcome to another Thrift Witch haul video. Before we get started, I wanted to show you, we have a couple of kitties wandering around. Mama! Hey Mama! This is Mama. Hey! She's gonna jump up with me. Her real name is Vespa, but we call her Mama because she is, hey Zoe! She is Zoe's mom. So that's why we call her Mama. And just like her beautiful daughter, she's a tortie. She's a very gentle, sweet cat. That's right, you are Mama. Alright, on with the haul. Just a few items today to share with you from a recent trip to the thrift store. First up is this really sweet piece, pair of lion bookends. They're ceramic. They're marked Japan on both pieces. They are in really nice shape, no damage at all, and they're very light ceramic, so the fact that they're undamaged is actually quite surprising. Really cute pieces. I was lucky enough on this trip to find a couple sets of these chained figurine animals. So first we have a mama cat and her two babies with fake fur applied. I believe this is Artmark. It is vintage. It is ceramic. In reasonably good shape, only a little bit of paint flaking on the kitten's ears. And this kitten probably did have a furry Donald Trump wig like this. Like seriously, this cat looks just like Donald Trump. Take it in, everyone. Wow. Donald Trump in a windstorm. So what was I saying? Yes, so this kitten probably had hair as well, but it looks like it's come off. He's actually probably better off without it. And Mama Cat is wearing a stole, or like a fur wrap with a little pin, and she has a nice fluffy tail. And then this set of boxers with the mother and the babies. And again, also in really great shape. These pieces are unmarked. And again, the only damage is a little bit of paint flaking, not on the puppies, but on the mama dog. She's missing a little bit of, I don't know if you can see it, a little bit of paint on her paw and a little bit of paint on her ear. I just love these. My grandparents had a few sets of these, and I have memories of, seeing sets like this. I've seen poodles. Unfortunately, where I saw the poodles was in another person's cart. And I guess if I had been thinking, I should have offered to purchase them from them, give them $5 so I could buy them, but I didn't. So hopefully I'll see them again someday. Next is something that I'm keeping for myself. This is a little chalkware skunk. I think purposefully meant to look like Flower from Bambi with the flowers and the sweet little shy look. That movie Bambi can be traumatizing, the mother doesn't make it, but I have to say the sweetest line in the movie is, "You can call me Flower if you want to." So this is a piece of Favor chalkware. It is Canadian, and I'm gonna hang on to that to put with my other skunks. I have a few skunk collectibles and figurines. Oh, another kitty. This is Eugene. He's the only boy cat in the house, but he looks like a girl the most. So he's pretty, and he knows he's pretty. Next, this is a piece of Westmoreland glass, milk glass. This is, see the swans on the ends of the bowl here as the handles in the reeds. Now this bowl would have had a lid. It would have had a lid with a swan on it actually. However, I still picked it up because it's a very old piece of milk glass, and it does display nicely even without the lid. And I know I've picked up other pieces of Westmoreland lids. For example, I had a cat lid and somebody picked that up because they actually had the bottom to go with it. So I still think this is a good piece to pick up, particularly because of its age. And the fact that it's lost a lot of its paint doesn't really make much difference. Most of these cold painted milk glass pieces from Westmoreland are not in perfect condition as far as the paint. However, otherwise, it is in good condition with no chips or cracks. Here's a cute piece for Christmas time. This is a cup and saucer with a winter scene on it. That's not wear, that's actually how the scene looks. I was concerned that there was a bit of wear to the transfer wear here, but it's not. It's actually exactly the same on the plate. It is marked Japan on the cup, and on the plate, or the saucer rather, it's marked Sakura Winter Scenery, Japan. So this is a vintage piece, so I'm going to hang on to that for the Christmas season. Really sweet with the basket weave at the bottom of the cup, and in very nice shape. Only a couple of tiny chips to the underside of the cup. Next is a tiny little piece of coal pottery, C-O-L-L. So when I first saw this piece, I wasn't sure if it was complete. I thought that this little cottage might be the lid to a butter dish, and so therefore was missing the tray that it would have sat on. However, I was able to search for the pottery, and I was able to find that there are other examples of these little cottages, and this is what they're meant to look like. They're meant to just sit on their own as little pieces of cottage ware. And coal pottery is on Isle of Lewis in the UK. So I thought that was a nice little piece. I see items like this with quite some frequency, and I've never picked up one before. This would be considered a piece, like a mudman figurine, because of this Asian gentleman here. The reason I picked this piece up is because of the koi fish that he is sitting next to or underneath, which acts sort of like a vase. You could use it as a vase. It's in excellent condition with no damage, only his stick is slightly broken. I could replace it, but I usually don't. I try to really maintain the integrity of things if I can, even if they are damaged, and let the person who ultimately ends up with the piece decide if they want to replace things like that. So I don't know much about how to tell if this is a truly vintage Mudman figurine or not, but for what I paid and for the form it is, I'm comfortable that I can make a few dollars on that piece. Next up is this very tiny, it's a shelf, it's a knick-knack shelf, and it's very 60s and 70s. I believe my grandparents, again, had some of these in their home. So I picked this up for people, you know, like I've said in an earlier video, if people are collecting knickknacks, they need a place to put them, and somewhere like this is a great place to display your vintage figurines, especially the tiny ones. Also, if you've been watching my videos, you saw a similar piece to this piece here. This piece is unmarked, but I was able to, I knew what it was when I saw it because I have another piece similar to it. So this is a David Fowler nightlight. It is, you can tell it's a bit vintage because of the plug, the age of the plug. And again, it's one of these where you look inside and when it's lit up, you can see this little mouse family in here, or groundhog, I think they're mice, and their little home. This piece does work. I have put a bulb in it and it does light up. However, with these vintage plugs and appliance, you know, electricals, I don't recommend that you necessarily use this as a nightlight unless you're going to rewire it for safety. But a really nice form. So he created, the earlier form I showed you was a building, it was a pub, and this is the mushroom style of nightlight. And the last item today is something which I now regret purchasing. At the time when I saw it, I thought it looked fairly vintage. However, I've since come to discover that this is actually something that is available new now. And it's a little bird in a cage, and when you put batteries in it, it does sing. This one does work. However, you know, it's not really super valuable. I thought it was a cute kitschy piece. I'm not completely unhappy. I didn't pay very much for it, just a few dollars. So, you know, hindsight 2020, what I should have done is put a bit more work into researching it before I left the store, which is usually what I do. As I've said before, I usually pull over somewhere quiet in the store and look over everything in the cart to make sure it's in good or acceptable condition, and then you know, I do try to find value sometimes on some of the things I'm not sure about. So for example, this little piece of pottery, like I said, I wasn't sure that it was complete, so I actually did research it before I picked it up, even though it was actually only $2. I wanted to be sure it wasn't missing its a tray or something that it was supposed to sit on. So yeah, so the bird in the cage, maybe a bit of a misstep, but that's okay, it happens. And so yeah, that's everything from this little trip to the store. I'll be keeping the flower skunk, and everything else will be coming up for sale either at the Gore Street Antique Market in Perth, Ontario, or possibly on the website thriftwitch.ca. I am going to start putting contact information in the description of these videos so that if you do want to reach out via email, if you're interested in something that you see in the haul, reach out and let me know, and we can arrange, you know, I can ship items. I do sell items occasionally on eBay, etc. So if there is something you just have to have, let me know. All the kitties have taken off. They've had enough time on the camera, so we're gonna have to close out this video, I guess, with this little kitty cat family, and just say thank you very much for watching Thrift Witch.